All right, hi everyone. These are the materials you should be starting with. You should have a piece of felt with a needle going through. Always keep your needle on this felt because that way you won't lose it. You should have a pair of scissors and a spool of thread. Any color should be fine. Your folder, please put your name on the folder. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this paper, and I want you guys to cut these out. So you're going to cut them so they turn into kind of like little small pieces, because that's what we're going to use to practice our stitches. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to take out this paper. It's already hole punched for you, and just go ahead and place it inside so we kind of have like a little booklet. All right, go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we have everything cut out and set up, I want you to put your stitch papers into the folder, and we are going to start with the long running stitch. So you can close up your folder, put it to the side, like that. Okay, before we thread our needle, we need to cut our thread. So take your spool of thread and measure a length of your arm from your palm to this part of your elbow on the inside of your elbow, and then double it because we're going to make sure our thread is double, and then cut it off. Okay, now we have a nice long piece to thread our needle. You can use a needle threader, but if you're young and have really good eyes, you can probably do it on your own. You're going to try to get the thread through that part of your needle. Let's see if I can do it. And if you have problems with this, you can use a needle threader. I think this is one of the worst parts about sewing, threading your needle. There we go. Got it. And then pull it through. Okay, now even it out at the bottom, and then go ahead and tie a knot. I get my fingers a little wet, just lick them. Go around my two fingers, come in, and then I kind of hold this and twist it and then pull through. So I have a knot at the end. All right, time to sew. We're first going to start with the long running stitch. So each of these dots is where your thread is going to come through. So we're going to start on the back, and we're going to go through this come up through this first dot. Okay, this is paper, so you want to be kind of delicate. Don't pull too hard. In fact, take a little piece of tape and tape that right there, just so you don't pull it out later on. For the long running stitch, the dots are pretty far apart, so you just kind of go through that side, okay, and then you're going to come back up through the other side, okay, and then back down through the next one, and then up. Okay, and then you just want to keep going. The long running stitch, it's pretty basic. Sometimes it's not even used to actually finish a garment. It's kind of like a holding stitch, or it could just be decorative, or it can be something that like a costume, like a piece that you don't really care about. It's not super secure, but it's just basic enough. So you just keep going through all of your holes, and it should look like that in the front. Okay, so I'm on my last stitch. Okay, I'm gonna go through and then I'm gonna tie it off. So you could cross here when you're gonna go under. Okay, pull that out. And then now come back under that piece that you first went through. So it's gonna make me a knot. But before I tie it taut, I'm gonna come under again. So now it's actually knotted. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go again, just to make sure it's super secure. Okay, all the way through. And that's your long running stitch. Okay, now that we're done with our long running stitch, let's put it into our folder. Go ahead and open it up. We have 2 running stitches that we're going to learn. So this first one, the long running stitch, we'll just put right there. Go ahead and take a piece of tape. Any tape is fine. I only have blue tape, and do one of those like double-sided folds. Okay, I'm just gonna place it right there and stick it in my folder. Really cool. Okay, a short running stitch. So if you notice on this one, the dots are a little bit closer together. It makes it a little bit of a stronger stitch versus being so wide. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come up through the bottom through our first hole. And then once we do that, our knot, we're just going to tape off just to make sure we don't pull it out through the paper. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing, just like you did with the long running stitch. You're going to go back down through the next hole. Okay. And then up through the hole. Oops, wrong one. Up through the hole after that. And then again back down. And then back up. Okay, I'll be doing my very last stitch right now. So going down through the black dot. And I'm going to do the same thing to tie it off. I'm going to go through my previous stitch, come around, and then knot it. Go through here, bring my needle around, and tie. And then I'll do it one more time for good measure. Through, and knot it around, then cut off the thread. I have a nice short running stitch that's complete. All right, now I'm going to put my running stitch in my folder along with my long running stitch, my short running stitch with my long running stitch. I'm going to take a piece of tape, any tape again, kind of make it double-sided, twirl it around. Right, so there's like a little hole you can stick your finger in. Okay, place it in the middle, and boom. Good job. Okay, putting away your needle. You have your needle and you have your piece of felt. I want you to push in about quarter of the way, halfway, and then through the other side. Okay, that way our needles don't get lost or hurt anyone.